Welcome to the 2024-2025 NBA playoff prediction. Here I will go over every series and even the play-in games because, I was kind of wondering would I do it before or after. I decided to do it before the play-in, and here we are, obviously. Eight total series in the first round, 6 total play-in games, and we're going to go through all of these right here today. Obviously, the game that tips off at 7. So, nearly right after you guys watch this video, this game will play. It's Orlando versus Atlanta. Now, Orlando had a better season last year. They were the 4th seed, obviously. They lost to the Cavs, the 5th seed last year. Obviously, not a better season here because they are the 7th. They are the 7th. And Atlanta is the 8th. If I'm wrong about that, don't sue me. But Orlando, they have Franz Wagner. They have Paolo Banchero. 2 really good players, obviously. Trae Young on the Hawks. He's really good, too. I feel like this game is going to be a pretty close one. However, I'm leaning the Magic. I think they're the tad better team. I think they have the tad better defense. And they're going to knock out Atlanta. Obviously, Atlanta doesn't get eliminated, though. They will face either the Bulls or the Heat in the 9v10 game. Now, the Heat, they've been in some juicy stuff this season. Jimmy Butler, obviously, getting traded. They still have Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. Those two, obviously, pretty good. The Bulls, however, they have been really good these past few weeks. Obviously, you guys probably all seen the Josh Giddey halfway court game winner against the Lakers on LeBron. But the Bulls have looked pretty good these past few weeks. However, the Heat own the Bulls in the play-in. It's like the annual play-in game where the Bulls and the Heat face off because everyone else is either terrible or better than them. So they always face off, and the Heat just have won every matchup. So I think the Heat will win that one. And in the matchup between Atlanta and the Heat, I'm leading Atlanta. I don't think the Heat have it. I don't think they have it without Jimmy. Playoff Jimmy, obviously. He's pretty good. But I don't think the Heat have it. I think Atlanta will take it, and they will move on to face the Cavaliers. And obviously, I'm not stupid. The Hawks, Magic, those two aren't winning. I'll get to my explanations later. Obviously, I have all 1s and 2s. Well, I don't know about the 1s and 2s on the West. But the 1s and 2s on the East, they're not losing. They're not losing. The East is weak. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see one upset. Because there's really 5 to 6 really good teams, and then everyone else sucks in the East. So, I don't see either the Cavs or Celtics losing in the first round. But who knows? Anything could happen, really. Now in the West, though, the West is, let's just put it, much more interesting. Unless the 9 or the 10 seed makes it, which I don't think will happen. Obviously, the 9 or 10 seeds, either the Mavs or the Kings, and we'll talk about the Mavs. But let's be honest. Both Golden State and Memphis can beat the Thunder. The Thunder can also sweep. Both Golden State and Memphis can beat the Rockets. The Rockets can also sweep. I mean, the difference from the play-in and from a top seed in the West is 2, 1, 3 games maybe. The West is so tight, anyone can win. And, a little spoiler, I think whoever comes out of the West will win the NBA Finals because it's just a much better conference. And unless like the Cavs or the Celtics, and I'm not too high on the Cavs, unless like the Celtics make it, even if, I think the West are taking this one this year. Now, however, we will still predict all the East. And, of course, in the West, we're going to start with the Golden State-Memphis game. Now, speaking of Jimmy Butler, guess where he plays at? He plays at Golden State with my boy Steph Curry. Obviously, Steph Curry, one of the best shooters ever. Now, Memphis, they have Zach Edey. Zach Edey is a bum that played at Purdue. We don't like Purdue. On a more serious note, they have Ja Morant. This dude puts up gun symbols every single game and is threatening like infinite amount of fines. So obviously this is going to be a pretty good game. I think it's far and out clear that whoever loses will still make the playoffs. I don't see not the Cavs, obviously, the Mavs or the Kings from like winning. But again, we never know what happens. So, but this game here, Golden State has been on a heater ever since they got Jimmy Butler. That's the thing. And that's what leads me to believe that Golden State will win this game and move on to be the 7th seed to face the Rockets, which is, to be fair, much easier than the, 87 and 18 Thunder? Like, they're really good. So, I'm going to take Golden State to avoid them. However, I did say Memphis would still move on. I still think they do. And just for the funsies, who will win between the Mavs and the Kings? Now, the Mavericks. Absolute disappointment. These guys went out and traded Luka for AD, and then AD gets injured immediately. You were just at the NBA Finals. You just made the NBA Finals. And then you throw that all away. For what? Anthony Davis? Give me the Kings out of spite. No, but the Kings, they have Dominus Sabonis. Pacers GOAT. He was at the Pacers. So I gotta respect him. Hope he makes it. But again, Memphis. I'm taking it. I think you guys know what game I'm going to first. Pacers Bucks 4v5 rematch of last year. Now the Pacers actually have home court advantage this year. First time since 2014. They've gotten 50 wins. First time since 2014. My boy Tyrese Halliburton, he's goated. Miles Turner goated. Pascal Siakam goated. TJ McConnell, he might play good in the playoffs again. We got my boy Benedict Mathurin. Jarace Walker, they need to play him more. Pacers and fuck. Nah, but for real though, I hope Dame. Obviously, I don't think Dame's gonna play. He's been going through some blood clots recently. I hope Dame gets better as soon as possible, even if that does mean he has to play us. I hope he gets better as soon as possible because blood clots, not a good thing to go through. Obviously, Giannis does not like the Pacers at all. We don't really care about that, though, because we own him. No, we really don't own him, but still, though. In all seriousness, Pacers in 6. I think they're the better team than the Bucks. I think the Bucks are just done. I don't think they go anywhere. They had Dame, they've had Giannis, and they haven't really gone anywhere. Do the Bucks blow it up all after this? Who knows? It's possible. I'm saying. So yeah, no bias, all seriousness. Give me Indy in 6. Okay, but to the 1 and 2, obviously, the Cavaliers were really a shock. I mean, no one really expected them to be good, really. Well, let me not say that. No one expected them to be 1 seed good. No one expected them to be 60 win good. However, they are. And to be honest, the East is so weak that it doesn't really matter what the 1 seed is. It doesn't matter what the 2 seed is. They're going to beat the 8 and the 7 seed. The Hawks, they don't have what it takes to beat the Cavs in a 4-game series. What is it? Orlando, they don't have what it takes to beat the Celtics in a 7-game series. Reigning champions, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, my boy Derek White. White. I like Derek White. He's pretty cool. Obviously, Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell. He's pretty good. It's just, I don't have much hope for these 8 and 7s, as you can tell. But, now to the final game of the East. We've got the Knicks, and we've got the Pistons. Now, the Pistons, they were absolutely terrible last year. They have the tied for the longest losing streak of all time. Well, I mean, that's embarrassing. However, they have turned around pretty well, and they've made the playoffs, which is neat to see. As a Pacers fan, I really wanted to play them because the Pistons were talking like they owned us. And the problem is, everyone in the NBA talks like we're bums. Obviously. I made a whole video on this last year. You got the guy with a blatant foul hitting the guy's head, and then it doesn't get called as common foul, and everyone's laughing at the Pacers like, oh, they got swept, they didn't deserve to be there, when literally every Celtics fan would tell you that it was their hardest series of their whole playoffs because they won 3 of the 4 games by like 3 points each. One of them, if Jaylen Brown doesn't hit that shot, you go up 1-0, then you could have been up 2-0, you could have been up 3-1, obviously. So, the Pacers have what it takes. However, I kind of got sidetracked there. We're talking about Knicks Pistons. Now, the Knicks. Well, obviously, they've got Jalen Brunson. They've got Cat. They got Josh Hart. They're a pretty good team, obviously. Do they have what it takes to win? 100%. But they're playing the Pistons. They've got Cade Cunningham. He's hungry for a win. I think that this series will be more interesting than many people think. I think it will go to 7. People might be underestimating the Pistons. The Knicks might underestimate the Pistons. However, I still have the Knicks advancing in 7 and moving on to play the Celtics. And the other 2 games, Cavs in 5, Celtics sweep. Now back to the West. The absolute gauntlet of a side. Absolute gauntlet conference. Number 1 Thunder versus the 8-seeded not the Golden State Warriors, I'm done. The 8-seeded Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the Thunder, SGA. He's going to be MVP, however, he doesn't deserve it. The MVP should be the Nuggets man at center. I think we all know who that is. We got Mr. Free Throw Baiter up here winning MVP. However, he is the second best player in the league. So, it's going to be a tough time for Memphis to stop. Do I have the ability to predict the 8v1? No. Thunder in 5. Yeah, the Grizzlies are good. But I don't think they're Thunder level good right now. So I have them losing to the Thunder in 5, and Thunder is moving on to the semis. Now, we have the Nuggets and we have the Clippers. Remember what I just said? Jokic should be MVP. I said it. He's better than that foul baiter SGA every day of the week. This man puts up a 30, 20, 20. This man puts up a 60, 10, and 10. Even though he lost that game because his teammates suck. I mean, this man is the clear MVP. And he's playing the Clippers. The Clippers have James Harden. James Harden's cool. We all like James Harden. Big, weird. You could say he's weird, but he also has a big beard. James Harden. He's cool. Do they still got Kawhi Leonard? I think they do. Yeah, they have Kawhi Leonard. I don't know what I'm saying. Nuggets, though. Other than the GOAT, Jokic, they've got my boy Jamal Murray. They've got Never Pass the Rock Man. They have Russell Westbrook. Yes, I said brick because he's a bum. I know y'all all saw that layup smoke. Y'all all saw the layup smoke. So, who do I got? I think this goes to 6, and I think the Nuggets take it, and they move on to face the Thunder. Now, we got the Lakers, and we got the Timberwolves. Guess where Luka Doncic is playing? He's playing on the Lakers. Guess who the Lakers have on? They've got LeBron. They've got LeBron James. My boy LeBron. He's been glazed every single day, every single month, every single year. He's been glazed so much, they're making songs of him. He's been glazed so much, they're making dolls of him. If this man doesn't win the finals, that's going to be pretty embarrassing because he's got Luka Doncic. He's got A. Reeves. He's got Luka Don. And then he's got him. And is that really all they need? Now, the Timberwolves, however, they got Anthony Edwards. He's pretty good. He made a lot of threes. However, it's Lakers in 5. I'm taking the Lakers to move on. Rockets and Golden State. Now, obviously, Golden State, Stephen Curry. However, the Rockets are just a good team overall. I wouldn't say they necessarily have a star. They don't have a star like Jokic. They don't have a star like Stephen Curry. However, they do have pretty good players. They got like Amen Thompson, players like that. Obviously, still a good team. They're overall just solid, and that's what led them to the 2 seed. Now, Golden State, however, has been playing really good. And I think you see what we're getting. I think this goes to 7. And I have Golden State shocking the basketball world and upsetting the number 2 Rockets to move on to face the number 3 seeded Lakers. Was there an agenda there? No. Will you say there was? Probably. Back down to the East, we got the Cavs and we got the Pacers. Now, here's what's concerning for the Pacers, is that they've been good, but they're not considered one of the greats. And as a Pacers fan, I can admit that they're not to the likes of the Thunder. They're not to the likes of the Lakers. They're not to the likes of the Cavs, and they're not to the likes of the Celtics. However, the Pacers can beat anyone. They can also lose to anyone in 4. It depends on how they want to play. Do they want to choke like earlier in the season and last season? Or do they want to play like the hottest team in 2025? It really depends on what they feel like. And the Pacers, they can beat the Cavs in 5. However, it's not can, it's will. And will they? unfortunately, as a Pacers fan, I'm not confident enough. I mean, the Cavs, they've just been a really good team, However, our record against the top teams, like the Cavs and the Celtics and the Knicks and the Bucks, and like the Thunder. I think we only played the Thunder like once and lost. But our record against the Cavs and the Celtics, obviously, is actually not that bad. I think it's like sub 500. The last time I checked, I'm not sure. So, do you know where I'm going here? Yeah, that's right. Give me the Pacers in 7 to move on to their second consecutive conference finals for the first time in... I don't know if they've ever done it. Let's be honest, the Pacers have not been the best franchise since moving from the ABA to the NBA. So, I'm just... biased aside, I'm not high on the Cavs team. I don't think they're as good as their record states. I don't think they'll make it to the finals. If they make it to the conference finals, I think they get beat by the Knicks or the Celtics. And honestly, it's not that ridiculous to say. I think the Pistons probably beat the Cavs. I think the Bucks can probably beat the Cavs. I'm not too high on the Cavs. If this was the Bucks, I'm honestly picking the Bucks over the Cavs. Because the Cavs they're just not really that good, in my opinion. I think they're frauds. So, we got the Pacers moving on to the conference finals. Call me biased all you want, but that's just how the cookie crumbles now, doesn't it? Now, Knicks versus Celtics. This is a really good series, actually, obviously. However, I had to bring up the Pacers stat, so I have to bring up the Knicks stat. Guess what the Knicks are against the top teams in the league? Like, was it top 5, top 3? I don't know. Like the Cavs, Celtics, teams like that. 0-18, 0-19, something like that. The Knicks may be a 3 seed. But baby, they're frauds. Give me the Celtics in 5. They knock off the Knicks. And they move on to a repeat conference final. The Pacers versus the Celtics. Do the Pacers have it in them to go to their first NBA Finals since 1999-2000, that season? We'll see. However, we got to go back up to the conference semis. We got the Nuggets and we got the Thunder. Now, obviously, this is the battle of the MVPs. So, we'll really see who's MVP based off this, game series. And I'm going to be honest, I was glazing over it. I don't think the Nuggets team has the players, right? They got Jamal Murray. He's pretty good. Again, Russell Westbrook. I don't know about him. Can the Nuggets win this? They can't. However, will the Nuggets win this? I don't think so. Give me the Thunder in 6 to move on to the conference finals, to face the Lakers or the Golden State Warriors. Now, this is very interesting. Stephen Curry and LeBron James. We all know that matchup. This might be one of the most watched series of all time, because they've got Luka Doncic, they've got A. Reeves, and they got LeBron and the Lakers. However, we all know Golden State Warrior got my... I said Warrior. The Golden State Warriors, they got my boy Stephen Curry. They got Draymond Green. They don't have Klay Thompson. He's a Maverick. But honestly, it's probably a good thing, because Klay Thompson, in that elimination game playing, let's just say he was 0-10. So it's probably better that he's gone. Really interesting series. Obviously, either team can win it. With the history they have, Curry, LeBron, they both have it in them to win. The whole thing, honestly. They both have at least one more in them. And this might be the year for both of them. So, Out of the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, I think this goes to 7. Because why wouldn't it go to 7? And I think you can guess what team I'm picking. Lakers. The Lakers move on to the finals. Well, the conference finals, not the NBA finals. But they move on to the finals to face the Thunder. Will LeBron make it back to the NBA finals? We're going to have to see. Because we're going to start down at the East. And I think you can see what teams. We got the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers. Again, they don't have a bad record against top teams. They can beat the Celtics. We saw this last year. I don't care that it was a sweep. They can. And they can. And they can beat the Celtics. However, the Celtics, they're coming off of the finals. They might want to repeat. Can they repeat? They 100% can. So, in this series, it's going to go to 6. And the Celtics, they will beat the Pacers. And they will move on to the NBA Finals. I think the Pacers are good. I think the Pacers can go to the Finals. I think the Pacers can win the Finals. However, I don't think it's the Pacers' year. If they keep everyone and they sign another good player, next year I think they can be contenders. I think they can win the chip next year. However, I don't think it's their time. I think they need at least one more year. One more year of chemistry. Get another best top player. And then you'll low-key be expected to win it, maybe. But unfortunately for me, the Celtics do move on, and they will go back to the NBA Finals to face who? Who will they face? Will it be SGA, or will it be Luka, Don, A. Reeves, and then LeBron's Lakers? Lakers in 5. Give me the Lakers to move on to the NBA Finals. Okay, let me explain it first. Calm down. Now, obviously, the Thunder will be favored. However, the Lakers might have one of the top 3 men, the top 3 man kind of set, group, whatever you want to call it. They might have that in the whole league. Again, they've got Luka Doncic. They've got Anthony Reeves. I don't even know if that's his right name. Anthony Reeves. That doesn't sound... We'll just call him Reeves. They've got Reeves. And they've got LeBron James. You really think LeBron James is going to sell in the conference finals? Probably. But it just seems like it's the Lakers here. They got Luka Doncic from the most dumbest trade of all time. They got A. Reeves. And they got LeBron. And they traded AD because they needed change. No, I'm not gonna do that. The Thunder will be favored. They've got SGA, obviously. However, I do think the Lakers pull it off. It's not gonna be in 5. You know, you see all the Lakers in 5. We saw the Lakers in 5 jokes. However, I think this game or series goes to 7. And I have the Lakers edging out the Thunder. And moving on back to the NBA Finals for the first time since the bubble. And we don't count the bubble, so this could be LeBron's first real ring in years. No, I'm joking about that. But we have the NBA Finals. Now, we've got the Lakers, and we got the Celtics. This is a really interesting series because these are the 2 best franchises of all time. Obviously, 90% of both teams' chips comes before 1960, and we probably shouldn't count any of the No, I don't think it's actually before 1960. I was kind of joking. But their rings are really old. A lot of their rings are extremely old. So, it's still the two most cultured franchises in the NBA facing off. Would be one of the biggest sort of events in the NBA for a long time, because they've got Luka, Don, A. Reeves, and then LeBron's Lakers. And then they got the Celtics with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White. My GOAT, Derek White. Nah, he's not my GOAT, but we got Derek White. I mean, everyone's going to watch this. Everyone would watch this. I want to understand why you want to watch this. This is peak cinema. So, honestly, if I was a betting man, and I knew that the NBA was rigged. Now, the NBA is probably not rigged. It's probably less rigged. If we had to rank rigged sports, obviously, I don't think any sports are rigged. But if we had to rank sports that are most likely rigged, other than the WWE, because that's already fake. Because we've got the NFL at the top. And we got the big gap, and then we got the NBA. Now, obviously, NBA has some refing problems. Could the refs be favoring teams? Who knows? We've seen it before, let's be honest. We see it with the Pacers every single dang time, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're on the NBA Finals. And in this series, I think it goes to 6. And I think that LeBron James and Bronny James Jr. in his first year loses in the... Nah, I'm taking the Lakers to win the chip. Lakers are winning the chip. Luka Doncic getting his first ring. Bronny James getting his first ring. Anthony Reeves. I need to stop saying Anthony. I don't know if that's his name or not. A. Reeves. Was he there during 2020? This is how you know I don't watch basketball. Because I don't know ball at all. But I'm taking the Lakers. Obviously, Finals MVP would be LeBron James, because it's LeBron James. Let's be honest. Let's say this goes to 6, 25. We'll keep it at like 25. 25 times 6, obviously. Let's round that up to 30. 30 times 6. 3 times 6, 180. 20 times 6 is 120. So if we look between that, it's 150, 175, 130. Give me 274 points. I don't know where I was going at. I'm going to say 167 because I don't know. That's the number that came to my head. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I don't know why, but this video was extremely goofy. Let me know if you like this better or you like it more professional. Let's be honest. If you skip to this part, at least you clicked on the video. That's really all that matters. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. And wait. Let me show that I submitted it. Alright, now peace.